Hi, today we're doing lesson 7.4. We're doing more multiplication properties of exponents, and we're going to use these properties to simplify some expressions. So first, let's look at raising a power to a power. So I have 4 to the 5th power raised to the 2nd power. Well, that means 4 to the 5th power times 4 to the 5th power, because I'm raising 4 to the 5th power to the 2nd power. Here I have two exponents with the same base, so I would add my exponents. I would get 4 to the 10th power. N to the 2nd power raised to the 3rd power means n to the 2nd power times n to the 2nd power times n to the 2nd power. Again, using our multiplication of exponents with the same base, we would add our exponents. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 would be n to the 6th power. Now, if you were to look at this, I have 4 to the 5th power to 2nd power, and I end up with 4 to the 10th power. I have n to the 2nd power raised to the 3rd power, I end up with n to the 6th power. Do you think you can come up with a rule for how we can do this without having to write it all the way out? I think you can. If you raise a power to a power, you multiply the exponents. And again, our base stays the same. So 4 to the 5th power raised to the 2nd power, 5 times 2 is 10. 4 to the 10th power, my base stayed 4. N to the 2nd power raised to the 3rd power, 2 times 3 is 6. What about this? What does this mean? Well, in this case, it means 3x times 3x, which we've done this before also. We know this means 3 times 3, we can do 9. There should be a times, it's kind of a dot. And x to the 1st power times x to the 1st power, 1 plus 1 is 2. That would be x to the 2nd power. A times b to 3rd power would mean a times b times a times b times a times b, which means I have 1, 2, 3, a to the 3rd power, and 1, 2, 3, b to the 3rd power. Notice 9 is 3 to the 2nd power and x to the 2nd power. And in this case, I have a to the 3rd power times b to the 3rd power. Hopefully you can see that rule now too. So to raise a product, so this is a product, 3 times x. This is a product, a times b. If I raise a product to a power, I have to raise each of these factors to that power. So 3 to the 2nd power, x to the 2nd power, a to the 3rd power, b to the 3rd power. Then I simplify if I can, in which case 3 to the 2nd power is 9. So let's do some examples. I have a product here that I'm raising to the 2nd power. So this just means negative 6 to the 2nd power, p to the 2nd power raised to the 2nd power, q to the 3rd power raised to the 2nd power. So I got some powers to a power, and I also have a product to a power. If I were to rewrite this, I would have negative 6 p to the 2nd power, q to the 3rd power, and I'm not going to want to rewrite this every time. I'm just going to show you, times negative 6 p to the 2nd power, q to the 3rd power. So I start with negative 6. I have two of them, negative 6 to the 2nd power, which is a positive 36. So I can immediately get rid of two of these. I p to the second power and p to the second power. 2 plus 2 is 4. So p to the fourth power. Both of these have p to the fourth power, so that doesn't have much. Q to the third power, q to the third power. 3 plus 3 is 6. Q to the sixth power. So it would be B. But I could have done that a lot quicker. Negative 6 to the second power is negative 6 times negative 6, or 36. Raise a power to a power. 2 times 2 is 4. Raise a power to a power. 3 times 2 is 6. Would have saved me some time. Let's practice this one. Well, first of all, I have some things in exponents, things that are not in exponents. I'm going to do in parentheses. I'm going to do my parentheses first. I have a power to a power. I multiply my powers. 4 times negative 3, I will end up with h to the negative 12. Remember, exponents, you're only raising what it is touching, and here it's touching these parentheses. Now I can, I'm just multiplying exponents with the same base, so I add my exponents. H, negative 2, and negative 12 is negative 14. And my last step, I'm going to bring that downstairs because I have a negative exponent. So I have 1 over h to the 14th power. Third example, I have a power raised to a power, so I will multiply those. 5 times 2 is 10, so I have n to the 10th power. That's a big 10. Now I have a product to a power, so everything inside here has to be raised to the power. I have 4 to the third power. I have m to the third power. And here I have n. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6 power. Now let's do some cleanup. First of all, I have 4 to the third power. 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. And I'm going to put that in front because we like our coefficients in front. Now we like to go alphabetically, so I'm going to do my m next. I forgot to write my 3. My m was raised to the third power. So my m to the third power will be next. And last I have my n. I have n to the 10th power and n to the negative 6. 10 plus negative 6 will bring me n to the 4th power. Let's look at another example. Everything in the parentheses being raised to the negative 2 power. I'm going to write it first. I have 4 to the negative 2 power. I'm going to write it this way before I move anything upstairs or downstairs. I have m to the negative 4 raised to the negative 2, so power to a power. I'm multiplying. Negative 4 times negative 2 is m to the 8th power. Then I have another power to a power, n, and 3 times negative 2 will be negative 6. I'm going to end up with a couple things I'm going to move downstairs. I'm going to move my 4 to the negative 2 downstairs. It will become 4 to the second power. Then I'm going to move my n to the negative 6 downstairs, and it will become n to the 6th power once it goes downstairs. My m is going to stay where it's at. I have m to the 8th power over 4 to the positive 2 power now, second power, and n to the positive 6. And my last little simplifying, I'm going to make 4 to the second power into 16. Sometimes people want to make that negative 16 because they say 4 to the negative 2, they think that'll be negative 16. Nope, it's 1/16. And n to the 6. Let's find the area of the square. Remember, the area of a square is side squared, or length times width, but in this case, they're the same, so it's same length times the same width, or side squared. So this is going to be 4x to the 5th power raised to the 2nd power, because I'm squaring it. 4 to the 2nd power. Then I am raising my x to the 5th power to the 2nd power, so 5 times 2 is 10. So x to the 10th power. And my last step, 4 to the 2nd power, is 16 x to the 10th power. What's the area of a rectangle? Oh, no, it tells me the area of a rectangle is 36 x to the 8th, y to 7. What's the width of the rectangle? Well, I needed a little bit more information, and now I have it. I know my length. So I know that 9 times whatever my width is has to give me 36. Well, 9 times 4 is 36. I have x to the 3rd power here, and I need x to the 8th. So how many, what does my exponent on my x have to be? 3 plus what will give me 8? That has to be 5. And my y, I have a 7. This is 4. 4 plus what will give me 7? My y has to be 3. So 4, x to the 5th power, y to the 3rd power. That wasn't so bad. Quick summary. Power to a power. A to the m raised to the power of n will give me a to the power of m times n. Now if I have a product to a power, everything inside those parentheses, anything being raised to that power has to be raised. So a to the mth power times b to the power of m. Let's try one more simplifying. See how we can do on this one. Okay, I'm raising 3 to the negative 2 power. It's so easy to lose track and forget to do one. 3 to the negative 2. Have m to the negative 1 being raised to the negative 2. Negative 1 times negative 2 will give me m to the positive 2. Okay, n to the 4th power raised to the negative 2 power. 4 times negative 2 will give me n to the negative 8. I'm not done yet, though. I have 2 being raised to the, oops, I didn't go far enough, 4th power. I have m to the 3rd power being raised to the 4th power. So 3 times 4 is 12. M to the 12th power. I have n to the negative 5 being raised to the 4th power. Negative 5 times 4 is negative 20. Now I can combine some like terms. I can't combine these because they don't have the same base. 3 and 4 are not the same base. So I'm going to right now keep my 3 to the negative 2 for just a little minute. It's going to go downstairs pretty soon. Then I have 2 to the 4th power. I like to keep my numbers in front. I have m to the second power and m to the 12th power. 2 plus 12 give me m to the 14th power. I have n to the negative 8 and n to the negative 20. So it'll give me n to the negative 28. Okay, let's get some things moved. That is not a very straight line. My 3 to the negative 2 power will go downstairs. My n to the negative 28 will go downstairs. My 2 to the 4th power will stay upstairs, so will my m to the 14th power. I have 2 to the 4th power, m to the 14th power. Then downstairs I have 3 to the 2nd power and n to the 28th power. And my last little bit, I can evaluate these numbers. 2 to the 4th power is 16. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, m to the 14th power. And 3 to the 2nd power, my denominator is 9. N to the 28th power. How'd you do? It was a tricky one. Have a great day. If you have any questions, you know where to find me.